so many interesting matches yesterday. AC Milan played, but they were able to qualify through away goals. They played the first leg, played out a 2-2 draw. But yesterday against Red Star Belgrade, they drew 1-1 at the San Siro. So 3-3, and they are through. So many clubs have gone through the qualified for the round of 16, and we'll be giving you all the names of the clubs that qualified. I'll give you the results of the matches that we played yesterday in the second leg of the UEFA Europa League. Yes, in the Nigeria Professional Football League, we had some games yesterday. Congratulations to Heartland for their fantastic win over Dakada FC. And for Katsina United, I thought, okay, if Bowden Baswa's guys can get the maximum points, then that could also take them off the table, but they couldn't as they played the goalless draw. So we'll give you the results of the 3 matches that we played yesterday in the Nigeria Professional Football League, and we'll also look at what happened in the world of basketball. Some matches we have played, I will be giving you the results. So these are some of the top stories that we have for you this morning on your favorite sports show called Sports Fiesta. It is live on 92.7 KFM down here in Benin City. My name is Ewosa Agbeka. You can come in the Sports Maestro, and I'm in the studio right now with Salih Ibrahim, the Ibrakadabra of sports. Ibrahim, good morning and welcome to the show. So many matches we played yesterday. Let's start from the UEFA Europa League. We thought, okay, Arsenal in the group stages, they won all their games 6-6, and when it comes to the round of 32, the first leg, they played the 1-1 draw, and many thought, okay, would that be a way for them to qualify or for them to crash out, because we thought Benfica could pose a stumbling block. And yesterday they did, but one way or the other, Aubameyang found his way and got the winner in the 87th minute, 3 minutes from regulation time. If that match had ended 2-2, then Arsenal would have been out of the competition. But they were able to find their way, and that's a huge relief for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, but Arsenal had an advantage going into that match. If the game had ended in a goalless draw, for instance, they would have been able to qualify based on the away goal rule, because they played out a 1-1 draw away from home. So that will have given them the opportunity to qualify for the next round. But when the game was 2-1 in favor of Benfica, then definitely the Portuguese were going through. When it was 2-2, they were still going through, but then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got that decisive goal. But I would say it was a goal made out of Africa. Bukayo Saka, the name on the lips of everybody right now. And when you remember that lad is just 19 years old, it makes you a bit sad that he didn't choose Nigeria. Instead, he opted for the Three Lions of England, and everybody's asking lyrical about him. I hope his form doesn't drop. If he can do this at 19, imagine what he will be doing at 29. I mean, he is supposed to be at the very top of world football. For me, he is the best teenager in the world right now, and that is no exaggeration. He has done very, very well. And maybe the only worry I will have is that at 19, Arsenal seem to be relying on Bukayo Saka to get them out of trouble. This season he has basically carried them. That is very dangerous. Not even Lionel Messi was depended on at 19 by Barcelona to carry them. At that point, he was still under the shadow of people like Ronaldinho, people like Deco, people like Samuel Eto'o. It was much later when he was in his 20s that, although at that time we could see the genius, we could see that he's brilliant, but Lionel Messi in the 2006 UEFA Champions League, which Barcelona went on to win, he didn't play beyond the second round. He was injured in the round of 16 against Chelsea, and so didn't play again for the rest of the competition. Barcelona went on to win it, so they didn't have to. But believe me, if Bukayo Saka is injured right now, Arsenal will be in trouble, because he's been like the catalyst, the
creating assists, scoring goals.
Yes, so that will be the only worry that I will have regarding Bukayo Saka. Willian, who joined them from Chelsea, has been much vilified this season, but at least yesterday he came on, he was substituted, came on and was able to help them to get the equalizer, which set up the winning goal. Dani Ceballos was horrible yesterday. He was, he was just all over the place. And when he was substituted, that's when you now saw Arsenal really play their game. Benfica almost equalized even with the last kick of the game, but it didn't happen. So congratulations to Arsenal for advancing. It's great for them that they advanced 4-3 on aggregate. A very entertaining match we saw yesterday. Arsenal were home in quotes because we know that the game was played at the Karaiskakis Stadium in Greece. So that's what we saw yesterday. But Arsenal, even though they played at a neutral venue, which was deemed as their home ground, they gave a good account of themselves and were able to win that encounter. It will have been disastrous for them because really, I think that is the only trophy that they can hope to win. They are out of the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. We know the final is between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur. The EPL, Arsenal are not going to win it. We can confidently predict that Arsenal will not win the EPL. So it leaves only the UEFA Europa League. Thank God they are in the round of 16. It's not guaranteed. I'm not saying that they will definitely win it, but at least they are still in the competition. And as we've always said, if you are going to stand the chance of winning the lottery, you've got to first buy the ticket. So they've got themselves the ticket to the round of 16. They are still there. It means that there are just 16 teams left in the competition. After the round of 16, we'll have the draws today in Nyon, Switzerland. Then they will know who they are going to meet. And before you know it, there could be 8 teams left, then 4 teams, 2 teams. And they've been in the final before. Last time, I think it was in 2019, they met Chelsea in the final. They were beaten 4-1. But they have another chance of winning it. And you know, if they win the Europa League, it means that they will play in the Champions League. So if I were Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal lads, maybe we will just concentrate more on this because it's not looking like they will make the top 4 in the EPL. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But when you look at the teams that are ahead of them, every team struggling to make it, it's going to be really, really difficult. So it appears that the more realistic chance of them getting playing the Champions League next season will be the UEFA Europa League. So maybe they should prioritize that over even the Premier League. Of course, because of pride, you want to win as many points as you can to finish as high as you can on the table. But I'm thinking that knockout football, you have a very good chance of making it to the of winning the trophy.
All right, so that was what happened yesterday right there in Greece, where Arsenal triumphed over Benfica to reach the last 16 of the UEFA Europa League. There were other matches. Leicester City, after playing a goalless draw in the first leg against Slavia Prague with Peter Olayinka, Super Eagles striker, yesterday at the King Power Stadium, we thought, okay, this is where the likes of James Maddison, Jamie Vardy and the rest, Wilfred Ndidi, would just finish the job they've started. But it was the other way around, as the Austrian side, beat the Czech Republic side rather beat Leicester City and knocked them out. Not just 1, but 2-0. And even Peter Olayinka had an assist in that game. I think that gave them a 2-0 victory on aggregate over Leicester City.
Really, really disappointing from Leicester City with what they have played this season in the English Premier League, with the way they have beaten the top side. They just beat Liverpool, beat Chelsea. They've done very well for themselves. They are second or third on the table. They are Manchester United on the same points.
I think Manchester United
they are doing very, very well in the English Premier League. So I thought this was the season. Even if they did not win it, maybe they will get as far as the semi-final. But to be eliminated the way they were yesterday and at home, that was really, really disappointing for them. Honestly, I hope this would not, kind of signal a decline in form for Leicester City, because they've done remarkably well this season. I hope they can overcome this and start playing well again in the EPL. But I was really, really disappointed that they did not at least go beyond this position. They had a very good chance. Just like Arsenal, maybe this is even a more realistic chance for them, at least in terms of getting a trophy. In the FA Cup, they will be playing against Manchester United, so that's not going to be easy. I'm not saying Manchester United will definitely beat them. They can hold their own against Manchester United. But honestly, in the Europa League, I expected more from them, and I was disappointed that they didn't go beyond this stage.
Okay, elsewhere we had other matches. Manchester United, they qualified at 4-0 on aggregate after their first leg 4-0 win, because yesterday's game at Old Trafford, that game ended goalless against Real Sociedad.
You might say you were disappointed, but
the job has already been done.
Yeah. So no need to stress yourself too much. They've got a difficult game this weekend against Chelsea, so I'm sure they had that in mind. That would be on the horizon for them. So perhaps they just took things a bit easy. I didn't think that they were going to beat Real Sociedad 4-0 away from home, which they did, and that's basically game, set, and match. So no need to overstress yourself in trying to get another win. Even if you had won 1-0 yesterday, or you won 3-0 or whatever, it's still the same as not getting a win. Goalless draw will do it. Even if they had lost 3-0 at home, they will still have advanced.
Yeah.
that was how comfortable they were before the first whistle blew. So I'm not surprised that they didn't really do much in this game.
German sides, two German sides crashed out yesterday. Really surprising. Hoffenheim at home were beaten by Moda, and that match ended 5-3 on aggregate. And the Norwegians progressed. Then also Bayer Leverkusen at home, also at the Bay Arena, we were beaten 2-0 by Young Boys of Switzerland, and that game ended 6-3 on aggregates. Really surprising.
That's why they derisively call it the Farmers League. And the French League on. But you say, of course, if you ask me the strongest team in Europe, and by implication the strongest team in the world right now, I also Bayern Munich, and I will argue it. I mean, there are facts to back it. They are the champions of Europe. They are also the world champions. So I mean, they are clearly the best team in the world. But what is the opposition in the German Bundesliga? Which almost every season they get to win it because nobody really challenges them. If they were playing, of course, if they meet English sides in the Champions League, they are likely to beat them. We saw what they did last season to English sides. But if Bayern Munich are playing in the English Premier League, they will not dominate the way they are doing in Germany right now. Of course, we can see what Manchester City is doing. So you can we saw what Liverpool did last season. So you can have one team dominate for one season, but you can't do that consistently in the English Premier League. No way. The most that we've had is 3 consecutive titles won by Manchester United. I think they did it on 2 different occasions. But you can't do that continuously in the English Premier League because every team is improving every year, and sometimes you will be embarrassed by a team that just gained promotion from the championship. But in the German Bundesliga, you can't do that. In the Italian Serie A, you can do that. Apparently, you can do that in the Scottish Premiership, and you can also do that in the French Ligue 1. But in the English Premier League,
it's not possible.
It's going to
back
be
to back is very difficult. Yeah, let alone consecutively 3 times, 4 times on the row. All right, guys, let's go on our first break. When we return from this break, we'll look at other results. Then I'll tell you more about football. Just hang on.
Scoring goals, we do it.
Do you know?
Good dentist, what be cavities and how Colgate take they protect my teeth from cavities? Shey they use Comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth they cause most tooth pains will be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula could help keep natural calcium inside our teeth. We could protect them from tooth decay.
Time don't reach to upgrade to the world's chosen toothpaste Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Cavities out!
Now the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
Honey?
Yes, dear.
I'm tired of the poor power situation. Every time I stock the fridge, I come back to spoiled food. I think it's about time we go solar.
How?
With Vertical Solar, we can have all our appliances and electronics powered by solar, and they allow us to pay small. We can pay installmentally with as low as 36,000 naira monthly, spread across 12 months.
Tell me more.
I know you like the idea of paying small. Vertical Solar range of products can power all household devices, including air conditioners and water pumps.
What are the benefits of solar power?
We are talking uninterrupted power supply, no monthly electricity bill, you no more spending on generator and no more generator noise.
I see. But how can I locate Vertical Solar?
Head now to 28 Country Home Metal Road off Ajib Junction, Sapele Road, Benin City, or Blossom Mall beside Stop to Shop stores, DBS Road, Asaba. Or you can call them on 0816-170-1105 or 0703-623-4843. You can also send them an email on info@verticalsolar.com.ng.
Vertical Solar, your lifetime power partners.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Arsenal #1.
Everybody get set, cause we got a great side, and there's plenty more around the corner. The boys say they really wanna win, and you know that they're gonna. We got that certain thing. We can fight, we can fly, we can hit and sting. We got Winterburn, Manninger, Seaman, and Vieira. And don't forget the boss, Mr. Arsene Wenger. So what can we do? We really dig you.
Still celebrating the victory of the Gunners last night after a 3-2 win over Benfica and 4-3 on aggregates in the UEFA Europa League last 32-second leg. And right now they are they're already into the round of 16, and they are also contender for the title because that is the only competition right now that we think they can do go on to do very well. So the Gunners, all the best of luck, and to other clubs who also progressed yesterday after their second legs were played. Ajax we are 2-1 winners over Lille, and that ended 4-2 on aggregates for the Dutch side. Rangers flying high, the beat area Antwerp 5-2, and that's give them a 9-5 aggregate win. Then we also saw what Napoli, where they were able to win 2-1, but wasn't enough because Granada scored a away goal, and so for Granada they progressed 3-2 on aggregate, and the Italians are out. Shakhtar Donetsk, where they've won this competition before, so they have that experience. They beat Maccabi Tel Aviv 1-0 and 3-0 on aggregate for them to progress. Then Villarreal, where we have Samuel Chukwueze, the comfortable win for them 2-1 over both legs and 4-1 on aggregate. No, 2-0 in the first leg, then 2-1 last night, 4-1 on aggregate over Red Bull Salzburg of Austria. Then Club Brugge, they did well in the first leg, played out a goalless a 1-1 draw with Dynamo Kiev, who just resumed their league not long ago. But last night in Belgium, the Ukrainians came so and conquered, and they won that match 1-0, and they progressed 2-1 on aggregate. Dynamo Zagreb beat FK Krasnodar 1-0 and 4-2 on aggregate to qualify. So these are some of the results of the matches that we played yesterday in UEFA Europa League. So
the Rangers game, that's one of the most high-scoring.
These guys,
matches
I don't know
that,
what's wrong, man.
You would ever see. I mean, it's just awesome. It was 9-5 on aggregates.
Yeah.
So that's a remarkable.
But the kind of form they are this year, both in the Scottish League and the UEFA Europa League, I don't know. What do you think Gerrard, must have told them, or must have, get into them that make them to become superstars wherever they go and all that?
They've always been good. Let's not forget, because this is Rangers that we're talking about.
Yeah.
They are definitely one of the biggest clubs in Europe, but because their league is not one of the top 5, they don't really talk much about them. But let's not forget that in the past they had people like Ali McCoy, they had people like
even
Gascoigne. They had so many great players who have played for them. And right now they've got Joe Aribo, they've got Leon Balogun. These are guys that are internationals. So they've got international players that are on their book. So they are a very good side. But of course, when they play in Europe, especially in the Champions League, the quality is much higher than what they have, so that's why they do not do remarkably well. But Steven Gerrard is a very inspirational figure. You know what Steven, the Liverpool team that Steven Gerrard played in, I believe that if you take Gerrard out, you take the influence of Gerrard, you take the quality of Gerrard, that team will be largely average. Yes, I know they had Luis Suarez, but check the number of goals that Luis Suarez scored and see how many of them were assists from Steven Gerrard, or how many of them Steven Gerrard contributed to. So you see, if you take Steven Gerrard out of the Liverpool team that he played in, the Liverpool team that he led, maybe they will not have achieved that much success. I know they didn't win the English Premier League, came very close twice, but on both occasions they failed. But they won every other thing. They won the UEFA Cup in 2001, I think, when they won the treble of sorts. They won the FA Cup, won the then Worthington Cup, which is the League Cup, now the Carabao Cup, and then they won the UEFA Cup. And also, they won the FA Cup with Gerrard in charge as the captain. And they won the big one, the Champions League, in 2005. And you saw what happened in that final. Yeah. Who got the first, when it was 3-0 in the comeback? Who got the first goal? It was Steven Gerrard. So without his influence, maybe Liverpool would not have been that good. I recall at one point, Gerard Houllier, who was their manager then, they were asking him how good Steven Gerrard was. And he said, I will not swap him with Zinedine Zidane. At that point, Zinedine Zidane was the head and shoulders the best player in the world. And he said, this is the greatest compliment I can pay to Steven Gerrard. If somebody, it's like today in world football, somebody is saying, I'm not going to swap this particular player with Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. It means I believe in this guy. Even if you give me Messi, I will not take it. If it means I have to give up this particular player. So a player of that reputation, once he comes into a team, he can motivate them. Yeah, I know that is the kind of player that Frank Lampard also was. And you saw what he did last season, inspiring his young lads to, finishing in the top four and getting to the final of the FA Cup. It didn't work out for them this season. But Gerrard I believe that is that Gerrard factor. They didn't win the league last season, but you can see what they are doing right now. So I believe it is the influence of Steven Gerrard that is making them go a bit higher than they've been, because they've always been good. Rangers had won the Scottish Championship 9 times, Scottish Premiership 9 times consecutively in the past, and they have also done well in Europe. But now having Gerrard and the passion that he brings and everything, maybe that's what is giving them that extra edge to do what they are doing at the moment.
All right, from there now let's come down to Africa and talk about matches that were played yesterday before we look at other sports, and then come back and look at the rumors circling at the moment and what JJ Okocha said about Mbappe joining Mohamed Salah rather joining Barcelona. Well, I don't know how that will pan out, but though we know that very soon Salah will be moving on from Liverpool, but where he's going we don't know. But for Okocha to say he should join Barcelona, well, let's see if that will pan out at the end of the day. Okay, African Cup of Nations on the 20 playoffs. Some matches were played yesterday. Cameroon under 20 and Ghana under 20 played at a 1-0 draw, while Burkina Faso also drew goalless with Uganda. It was Cameroon who progressed on penalties, as well as Uganda also progressed. So that is what we have for you. But 3 matches were played yesterday in the Nigeria Professional Football League, and we thought Katsina United would be able to do very well this time, but they failed to win. They drew goalless with MFM. Atland of Owerri beat Dakada FC 2-1. It was a comeback win for them. Then Adamawa United, at last, maximum points over Lobby Stars. One will expect Lobby Stars to compound their woes, by beating them at home, because if you look at their the last games that they played, I don't think that they even have a draw. Anything yellow in that in their results, everything is red over the boards. Yesterday they were able to do.
They had 3 points before, so it means that they've got 3 draws in the past. About Adamawa United. Yeah, they had 3 points previously.
They were all draws.
Yeah, it must have been draws, because they have now. Yesterday was their first win.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had 3 draws in the past, and it's when you play against a team that is down, it could be difficult, because you know that if they beat you, then you will be the ones that were used to make history. So you do not want that. So there is that pressure when you play against a team that is bottom, because they basically have nothing to lose. If they lose here, they have been on a poor run. But if they go on to win, then it is going to be big news. And unfortunately for Lobby Stars, they were the victims, and Adamawa United getting their first win of the season.
Congratulations to them. We hope that they'll be able to build on that and leave the bottom spots. But it will be difficult for them to survive relegation, except they maintain this run of form. Okay, let's look at basketball. We had some matches there yesterday, and a couple of them.
Before we go to basketball, there is one story, and it is from Nigeria. It is, in fact, from Edo State. It is from Benin City. This is a story that concerns us, very much, and it has to do with somebody who is in the scheme of things at Edo Queens Bendel Insurance. We're talking about Coach Godwin Ezelian. He has complained that the NFF is owing him, and this is not the first time. This is not the first time that this has become public knowledge. So speaking with the BBC, he says the NFF owes him $28,750 in match bonuses for winning the 2004 African Women Cup of Nations in South Africa. And the current president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amadou Pinnick, had previously acknowledged this, and he said that and he's going to sort it out. I was there, so I can't. It was something that we played here on this program. I had the clip and we played it.
Well, it's been a long time.
Yes. Let me quote what Godwin Ezelian said to the BBC. I met Pinnick in 2018, and he promised to pay me in the presence of my state governor, but that's 3 years ago, and they have refused to pay. You would think that after scoring 18 goals and 2 against, they will show you respect, but instead, I'm still begging for what I worked for almost 20 years ago. We had a big scandal at the end of the championship. I managed it to the best of my ability, and maybe this is the only way for them to pay me back. As I said, I was there when he brought this out, and that was I think it was the unveiling ceremony of the
insurance.
Yes, I was at Government House that day. The Governor Godwin Obaseki was there, and Amadou Pinnick was there. So Godwin Ezelian came, laid his complaint, and Amadou Pinnick took the phone and said, Godwin Ezelian, I know this issue, I am going to get into it. And to be fair to Amadou Pinnick and the current board of the Nigeria Football Federation, this didn't happen under their watch. It happened in 2004. Amadou Pinnick was in Delta. I don't know whether he had become the
Delta State Sports
chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission then, but I know he wasn't anywhere near the Nigeria Football Federation in this current capacity. So it wasn't his fault that the money was not paid initially. But he said at that event that he would look into it and he will ensure that they did something about it. And the scandal that Godwin Ezelian is talking about is something that we all know. It happened after they beat Cameroon 5-0 in the final. The Super Falcons, they refused to leave their hotel in South Africa, insisting that $6,000 per player bonus must be settled. They seized the cup. The players seized the cup and sat in their hotel. So it caused Nigeria international embarrassment. So Godwin Ezelian is saying that the NFF wanted him to return during the team's sit-in, but he stood by his player. I mean, your players are doing something. You as the coach, you've got to follow them. So he says that it could have maybe that is what led to him being refused payment. He said, my guests were paid before they left South Africa, but I wasn't. I was told for not returning as ordered, I didn't deserve to be paid. I have coaching ethics and couldn't have done such things as alleged by those in authority. I don't want to believe this is the reason to hold on to my money, because a worker is worthy of his wages. So this is what he said. The BBC, they said they tried to talk to Mohamed Sanusi, but they were told that he is out of the country, and that chairman of its technical and development committee, Ahmed Yusuf Fresh, is going to look into this particular issue. But they said Ahmed Yusuf Fresh was not available. So Godwin Ezealiam still went on to manage the country's under-17 national team in 2005, and he said his long silence has left him feeling frustrated. He said, I'm quoting him, "My children have been taking care of me, but I don't want to die waiting for what I worked for."
Yeah.
They, the NFF, should not start praising me when I'm gone, because I am not a young man full of life, but someone who's old and only demand for what he deserves. He's 78. He's 78.
Yeah.
So they should.
I don't know why it's taking so long.
And unfortunately, it's not only Godwin Ezealiam. There are so many of them, many coaches, even here in Edo State. I've had some that even did so much for Bendel Insurance in the past, but nothing has been done. People like Lawrence Akpokona.
Yeah.
Look, we should really take care of these people. And I understand the current administration, whether the NFF, whether in Edo State, whether everywhere, it is not their fault that these things happened. But because, as we said, government is a continuum. So you've got to look at some of these things and ensure that all those that are aggrieved in the past, you've got to take care of them. We had the case of the Golden Eaglets. I mean, we can't use that because it's something that we saw. It happened. We were alive when it happened, or some of us were alive when it happened in 1985. They won the first ever FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The first country in the world, not just the first African country, the first ever country to win it. They did. They came. General Muhammad Buhari was head of state of Nigeria at that point. Then they made some promises to the team. But 2 weeks after they returned, he was overthrown in a military coup. And successive government did not do anything about it. But when he returned in 2015, 30 years later, he now fulfilled, and thank God that many of them were still alive.
Yeah, to enjoy
they fulfilled that promise. So it doesn't matter the administration that was in there. And the good thing, the right thing, of course, is the moment something happens, you take care of it, and you just handle it so that you don't leave a burden
for the next
administration, because they too will have their own issues and everything. But even when it is done, we've got to look at it. And you can see what some governments are doing, especially the government of Edo State, paying pensions, backlog of pensions and gratuity. It is the responsibility of the government to do that. So we are going to appeal to the NFF, we appeal to the management of Bendel Insurance, amendment of other clause. Please look into this thing so that we do not have the cases of these people not being happy. I don't know, I'm not a superstitious person, but in football, there are certain things. If you follow Benfica, for instance, you know Benfica lost yesterday. If you know the history of Benfica, you will know the guy, the coach that they call Bela Gutmann. There is what is called, you can, guys, please Google it, the cause of Bela Gutmann. You know what happened between him and Benfica. It is, Portugal is one of the most Christianized countries in the world, but they believe that there is this cause of Bela Gutmann that is on Benfica, that they will never win any European championship again because of the way he was treated. And it took the great Eusebio of Portugal, although originally from Mozambique. He even went to the grave of Bela Gutmann to appease the spirits, to beg him, please, we know that this club offended you, but please do not be offended anymore. Please, don't be angry at the club. Let them win, you know. But they still didn't win. I think that was just ahead of the 2013 Europa Cup final that they played against Chelsea. They almost beat Chelsea in that match, but they lost it 2-1. And since then, they've not been able to win any continental trophy. So we hope that these things are taken care of. As I said, Godwin Ezealiam, as he rightly pointed out, he's not a young man, so they should pay him his money. I mean, it's not going to make the NFF bankrupt to pay it's less than $29,000, $28,000 something. So they should pay it. We know what happened, except if they had told them, and I don't think they did, otherwise they will have said it. The NFF, Amadou Pinnick will not have said, okay, I'm going to look into your case. It will have been like, well, you don't deserve it. They give you reasons why you don't deserve it. You know, if somebody did something that will make him forfeit his salaries, because if you do your job, you're supposed to be paid your salaries, but there are certain things you can do. It's in the level of that things you can do that would make your salary to become forfeit, you know, but that is not the case here with Godwin Ezealiam. So we'll appeal to the NFF to ensure that they pay him his dues.
Well, this is really sad, honestly. By now, he should be enjoying or investing his money, not still drawing his money at this moment. When I read that, I said that they should not mourn him, because all he needs is for them to pay his money, not mourning him after his death and saying some special things. And that's true.
That's what usually happens when somebody dies.
Yes,
everybody starts praising him, starts saying so many great things. But when the person was alive,
the money that he worked for, you give it to him and let him enjoy himself. All right, let's go to basketball right now. We'll take the results of the matches that we played yesterday in the NBA. A couple of games we have played. Dallas Mavericks took on Philadelphia 76ers. It was the Sixers who won 111 to 97 points at the Wells Fargo Center. Then Sacramento Kings took on New York Knicks at the Madison Square Garden. It was New York Knicks who won that match 140 points to 121. Elsewhere, Orlando Magic were beaten by Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center, 129 points to 92 points. You cannot have the victory and also be struggling. LA Clippers, well, they lost to Memphis Grizzlies and 94 to 122 points at the FedEx Forum, where Washington Wizards we are winners over Denver Nuggets 112 to 110 points, and that game took place at the Ball Arena. And finally, New Orleans Pelicans at the Fiserv Forum lost to Milwaukee Bucks 129 to 125 points. Milwaukee Bucks, they've really been struggling, and I think this is the time for them to start winning and also trying to cut down the defeats that they've had. Okay, tomorrow morning we've got some matches. Indiana Pacers will take on Boston Celtics. Houston Rockets will face Toronto Raptors. LA Clippers will be at home once again, this time to Memphis Grizzlies. Phoenix Suns will take on Chicago Bulls. Sacramento Kings versus Detroit Pistons. Atlanta Hawks will take on Oklahoma City Thunder, while Utah Jazz will face Miami Heat. Elsewhere, Charlotte Hornets at the Chase Center will face Golden State Warriors, while Portland Trail Blazers will take on LA Lakers at the Staples Center. So Lakers playing at home this time, but still without Anthony Davis and Schroeder. I don't know if LeBron James will be able to do this even at home against the Portland Trail Blazers. But let's see how far the big LeBron will go about in this game. Okay, still talking about basketball. Toronto Raptors president is from Nigeria, Masai Ujiri. He has vowed to fight for the wrongly accused in the society after a law enforcement officer robbed him of his championship moment following the 2019 NBA Finals. During a Good Morning America interview with Robin Roberts Wednesday morning, Ujiri spoke about that night's event from his perspective. The Nigerian NBA executive was sued after a chance encounter with Alameda County Sheriff Deputy Alan Strickland turned physical. The officer had refused to let the ex-Nigeria International join his team just after they beat the Golden State Warriors in California to end the series triumphantly. So last week, Ujiri released a powerful statement, a video in which he reflected on his own experience, the decision to help victims.
And of course, Masai Ujiri is somebody that I've been on a show with. I invited him to my TV program in Abuja, and I recall he came then with the coach of the team, John, I've forgotten his surname now, but I know he was named John, a coach from the United States of America, and he's somebody who has played for the Tigers and who has been involved in management with the Tigers, and who has been the general manager and president of basketball teams in the United States of America, and has even helped a team, the Toronto Raptors, to go on to win the NBA championship. So he is one of the most high-profile black men in basketball management. He is in one of those positions that we usually say black people or people of ethnic minorities do not get the opportunity of advancing to. But just because he was black, a police officer, didn't think that he was who he claimed he is, you know. his team had won the NBA championship. He was coming to celebrate with them, and the guy stopped him and like, who be this? Where you they go? You know, and it was like, this is my team. I am the general manager of this club, and he was like, no, you cannot be. And even when Masai was showing him credential, he still insisted, and it led to a fracas, which of course led to Masai not being able to enjoy that moment. So he was deprived of that, basically because of the color of his skin. If Masai had been white and had appeared there, I'm sure the officer would have been more courteous, and the moment he identified himself, he would have just allowed him to go. But unfortunately, this thing has happened. I've seen videos on YouTube. There was one American football star that's talking about the NFL. His mother was in hospital. She was dying. They had called them that, look, she can't last more than the next 30 minutes or so. And so they were trying to go there, and the cops stopped them, maybe for beating a traffic light. And they said, look, officer, whatever it is, please, our mother is in the hospital. She's about to die. Let us just have this moment with her, please. I am not going to run. He identified himself clearly. I play for this football club. This is my card and everything. Please, just let us go. You need to see how rude the officer was, the way he was talking to them. His wife, the wife of the footballer, of the footballer, she just got angry and like, to hell with you, do whatever you want. And she ran in because they were close to the hospital. They were close to the hospital. They chased them down and flagged them and stopped them. And they were initially they were just pleading, please, look, this is the situation. It's not like we did it deliberately, but please, whatever it is, okay, book us. Of course, when somebody breaks traffic regulations, the offense that you have to shoot the person. No, you charge the person and he pays the fine. That is what happens. At once you take the person to court and they tell him, okay, this is the offense, and he pays for it. That is it. But the guy just deliberate, and he made them. She got angry and she ran in, and eventually she got to see the last moment of her mother-in-law. But the son did not even make it. Yeah, because the officer detained him. And even his police chief later, said, and they suspended the officer. They dealt with him. They said, no, that's not how. No matter what it is, at least there is also public relations. You should even have human sympathy.
Because of
to you. Yeah, or if you somebody beats the traffic light, for instance, and you stop him eventually, and it shows you can see maybe his daughter or his son or his mother is in the back of the car, and the person is sick. Will you say because he broke traffic regulations, then you must detain him when you can see that something, even if you are going to book him, you let him go, then later you can now say, okay, yeah, I know you had an emergency, but you're still guilty of this. So that's the issue that happened with Masai Ujiri. Since he had showed you his identification, even if you will come back to it and say, well, you were not supposed to come in through this way or whatever, you let him go and celebrate with his team. But I believe that that officer reacted that way because he was dealing with a black person, and it wasn't nice at all.
All right, before we look at the transfer rumors and also what happened in the United States as Henry left Montreal FC because of personal reasons. Let's talk about this athletics coach. I don't know. To me, it's a sin for one to take his own life. Committing suicide is really something bad. But I don't know why people take pleasure in doing this. Even if you are accused of something, yes, it don't mean that is not the end of the world. You could be mocked, you could be, receive insults and everything from different quarters, but that could also lead you to become a new person, change your ways and all that. But taking your life is really bad. A former U.S. Olympics gymnastics coach has killed himself hours after he was charged with sexual assault and human trafficking. That's what the officials said. The office of Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel confirmed the death of John Gedart on Thursday afternoon. In the morning, Mrs. Nessel had outlined 24 felony charges facing Gedart, and Gedart was head of the women's gymnastics team in 2012 and worked closely with team doctor Larry Nassar, who abused hundreds of athletes. And Nasser, he was sentenced to up to 300 years in jail in 2018 for abusing more than 250 girls. This is crazy. And forget that it's just he's 63, and he owned the training facility in Michigan where Nasser had served as a gym doctor. And a number of gymnasts accused him of abusive behavior when they testified during Nasser's trial. You talked about this when Simone Biles said she would not allow her daughter, to join the gymnastics because of what has been happening there.
And this is why, unfortunately, it's so difficult for some parents to allow their children, especially girls, to get into sport, because most times they are under the care of adults who are not related to them. These days, it's so horrible that even relatives sexually abuse children. So you don't even know who to trust anymore. Even as a mother, sometimes you can't even trust the father of the child.
Yeah, it has gotten to that level.
It's so bad.
Honestly,
we hear horrible stories of fathers raping their daughters, or sometimes seducing them by giving them gifts and whatever, and they now have a relationship. I mean, it's just horrible what's been happening. Human life is precious, so whenever you hear that anybody has died, you feel pain. But when you realize what this person in particular, Gedat, has done, you feel he has even cheated the world of its punishment, because he deserves to suffer for what he has done. He's basically just taking the easy way out. He has cheated the legal system. When you abuse little girls sexually, and he was also involved in human trafficking. Do you know how many people might have died from the human trafficking trauma that they've been forced into? Do you know how many might have committed suicide because this man sexually harassed them? You know, really so it's horrible. And I am hoping, I'm praying that there will be a system that will protect people from this, so that you don't have anybody eventually committing suicide. If the person is guilty, then the person deserves to be punished. You know, but I think there should be more done to protect the children, because unfortunately, these things and this abuses that we're talking about took place. It didn't just happen one day or 1 week or 1 year. It was over many years. Some of these girls, from the moment they were, because in gymnastics you need to get in very, very early. By the time you are 9, 10, 11, you should already be into it, because by the time you are 16, 17, you should already be winning medals. By the time you are in your 20s, you should be thinking of retirement. That's how gymnastics is. It's not a sport for very old people. Yeah, as an old person, you can still do gymnastics, but if it's going to be competitive, then you've got to get in there very early and also get out very early. So, because these kids are impressionable and you can intimidate them if you scream at them, and many of them have even reported to their parents. But because the parents are looking out for the money that will come out of it, and they know that, oh, if I break this scandal, that will be the end of my daughter, that will be the end of my child in the United States gymnastics team. But let us not think that it is too far. It's also happening here in our country. So we've got to look at sports and what is happening there. When you are leaving your kids with people that are adults, you have to find a way to protect them. You must, and please, we've said this several times, parents, let your children be very close to you. Let them open up to you. Let
try to believe them.
The moment anything happens, they will report it. Because some kids, because their parents don't listen to them, they will not even say anything, even when they are being abused. And some that are abused, when they say it out, their parents won't even listen to them. Their parents, some have, like Larry Nasser, for instance, some of the parents have come to confront him in the past, but the moment he said, no, it's not, I didn't do it, I didn't, they just them, and they left the children, and even punished the children. And when you've already done that, I mean, the man will say, hey, sure you don't tell your papa and your mother.
You will hear what?
I told you not to tell them. Now, have you not been embarrassed? And he continues abusing them.
All right. Really sad that he took his life, but all the same, let's see how
it's sad that he abused children and got away with it for a long time before the arms of the
All right, I don't know. Let's see if we can take one or two messages because time is not really on our side. And later at 4, we'll give you the fixtures for the weekend and other stories.
This one says, Mr. Ibrahim, Steven Gerrard did not win Premier League as a player, but he will win as coach from Chelsea assistant coach. Okay, so he will come to the English Premier League to coach a team that will win it. Okay, maybe Liverpool. Good morning, sir. I want to ask why Cavani has not been playing. I'm Alex by name. Well, they said at one point I think he was injured, but I think just before their last game they said he was fit enough to play. He didn't play. Maybe it's the coach who just wanted that. Perhaps they are keeping him for
the big game this weekend.
Yeah. Those are the messages.
All right, this is the much we can take on the show this morning. But before we go, let's take the final whistle on the show this morning.
They can't treat us like animals. This is not right. This is what I do to feed my family. Ghanaian footballer Benjamin Achepong saying he has been duped out of $1 million by Zamalek Football Club of Egypt and is determined not to let it happen again. That's the final whistle on Sports Fiesta this morning.
With this, we come to the end of the show this morning. Don't worry, at 4 we'll be back to give you the evening edition. Many thanks to you guys for being part of the show, and to Salim Ibrahim, the Bracadabra Sports, for doing this with me. My name is Awusa Agbekan, the Sports Maestro. Please don't leave the frequency.